Think about your money right now. You probably have a checking account at one of the big banks, maybe an RRSP sitting with a traditional brokerage, and a separate app you downloaded just to buy some crypto. We often treat this kind of setup like diversification, but it's really just fragmentation. Spreading your cash across 4 different apps means you are paying 4 separate sets of hidden fees, and you're almost certainly missing out on the best interest rates because your individual balances are too low to qualify. That scattered reality is exactly what Wealthsimple's business model is designed to exploit. They built a multi-segment ecosystem that actively rewards you for bringing all those fragmented accounts under one single roof. They treat your net worth like a progress bar. Consolidating your cash fills this gauge, unlocking new tiers at the $100,000 and $500,000 marks. Crossing those thresholds triggers a system-wide upgrade, portfolio management fees drop, and your checking account's passive interest yield automatically increases. Getting those premium rates comes with a major catch. To reach the top of this system, you have to completely sever ties with your physical bank branch and trust a single digital-only app with your entire net worth. The perks scale across 3 milestones: the core tier at $1, premium at $100,000, and generation at $500,000. We need to look closely at the math behind each of these levels. We're going to break down exactly what you get at every tier to see if the financial upside actually justifies the administrative headache of breaking up with your current bank. The ecosystem starts at the core tier, which is accessible to literally anyone with a single dollar to deposit. Right out of the gate, you get 0 commission stock trading, automated portfolios for a 0.5% management fee, and a checking account that pays a base interest rate of 1.25%. The trade-off here is operational support. At this level, you don't get priority customer service, and you completely lose access to physical cash management tools like a traditional bank teller. To maximize this tier, you have to look at this flowchart. If you set up a recurring direct deposit of at least $2,000 a month, the system applies a multiplier that bumps your checking interest from 1.25 up to 1.75%. That extra 0.5% requires you to route your primary payroll here, which means you'll have to manually untangle and migrate every automatic bill payment, subscription, and mortgage draw from your old legacy account. It's a deliberate behavioral hook. By capturing your paycheck, Wealthsimple ensures their app becomes the default hub for your daily cash flow. If you decide to keep your payroll at your legacy bank and just use this as a side account, that 1.25, most people have to initiate formal institutional transfers of their major registered accounts, like a TFSA or RRSP, from their legacy banks. That process is filled with friction. You are going to face transfer delays, convoluted paperwork, and administrative pushback from legacy brokers who will fight hard to keep your capital in their ecosystem. If you push past that friction and continue adding capital, there is a secondary sub-milestone at $200,000 that starts unlocking external lifestyle rewards. Reaching this level gives you the option to claim specific perks, like discounts with Uber, memberships with Strava, and healthcare from Medcan. You have to run a strict reality check on these extras. If you don't already actively use these specific niche services, the actual financial value of that $200,000 milestone drops to exactly 0. Premium is the point where the mathematical returns truly accelerate, assuming you have the patience to survive the transfer process, and you actively trade in US dollars to capitalize on the waived fees. The final rung of the ladder is the $500,000 generation tier, built for established high net worth earners. At this level, the pricing structures look entirely different. You get a flat 2.25% base interest rate with no direct deposit hoops to jump through. Management fees slash down to between 0.2 and 0.4%, and complimentary pro tax filing. Parking $500,000 in a digital-first platform means accepting a massive trust trade-off. You have to sacrifice the dedicated in-person private banking lounges and face-to-face advisors that are traditionally standard at this wealth level. This diagram illustrates a strategic loophole to reach this tier without individually possessing $500,000, the household feature. By linking your account with a spouse or even a roommate living at the same address, your individual balances are added together. Once the combined total hits $500,000, both users instantly inherit generation status benefits on their separate accounts. Activating this feature forces a major privacy trade-off. The primary members of the household must agree to full mutual visibility, meaning your partner can see your exact net worth and account balances. While that transparency might feel invasive to some, The system maintains strict security boundaries. Members can view the shared household net worth, but they absolutely cannot execute unauthorized trades or withdrawals from their partner's individual accounts. The generation tier offers the mathematical yields of a private bank, but achieving it requires you to adopt a ruthlessly modern, branchless approach to your wealth and potentially compromise your financial privacy to hack the requirements. Wealthsimple's entire platform is built on one very clear premise. They want to solve the friction of scattered finances by heavily rewarding absolute loyalty. The person who benefits the most from this system is a profile we'll call the consolidator. The consolidator is a mid-career professional who currently has over $100,000 scattered across stale mutual funds, old brokerages, and low-yield checking accounts. They win in this ecosystem because the math works strictly in their favor. The permanent reduction in fees, the high passive interest, and the free USD accounts heavily outweigh the temporary weekend of administrative pain required to initiate those institutional transfers. On the flip side, there are specific user profiles who should avoid committing to this platform: the traditionalist and the complex operator. These users have needs that simply break the digital-only model. They rely heavily on face-to-face financial planning, they need to make physical cash deposits on a regular basis, or they run businesses that require multi-owner corporate accounts. For those complex operators, a streamlined, branchless app will ultimately feel restrictive and frustrating, no matter how attractive that 2.25% interest rate looks on paper. Your decision comes down to utility. You should only commit to consolidating your assets here if the specific functional outcomes, like cheaper USD trades and lower management fees, directly serve your existing financial habits. Do not move your money just to chase a gamified status badge.